brake light not glowing when brakes applied. The most probable cause of the brake light not glowing is that the socket may have detached. First, check the connection of the brake switch near the brake pedal, then check the harness connections for the brake light. If the problem persists, then replace the brake switch and check. R meter not working. If R meter is not working, then there is a possibility that the cable has been detached from the alternator. Check the connections on the alternator. In case the needle is still not working, replace the meter from instrument cluster. Tractor not starting when ignition key is turned on. Firstly, before starting the tractor, disengage all levers such as high-low shifter, PTO lever and clutch, and ensure that they are in neutral condition. If the tractor fails to start, then check the connection of all safety switches one by one. After tightening any possible loose connections, further check the continuity of all the switches using multimeter. Now, check the battery terminals for loose connections or salt formation on terminal. Clean the battery terminals and tighten the terminal connectors. Check the connection at the starter motor. If the connection is loose, then tighten the connection. If after performing all the above checks, the tractor still does not start, check the gravity and voltage of the battery. If necessary, charge the battery or top up electrolyte in the battery. Alternator not working or battery light is continuously glowing on instrument panel. The continuously glowing battery light on the instrument panel of your tractor can be a cause for concern. If you are faced with such a situation, then the first step towards rectification of this would be to check the alternator connections and tightening the connections if found loose. Secondly, check the fan belt tension. If the fan belt is loose, then tighten the fan belt tension in the permissible limits. Indicator not working. The problems relating to the indicators are usually due to loose connections. So, the first step is to check the connection at the turn switch. If connections are found okay, then replace the turn switch. Sensors not working. There are 3 different sensors in the tractor to assist the driver. These are oil pressure sensor, temperature sensor, and clogging sensor. In case any of these stops working or is malfunctioning, the very first step would be to check the connections of the sensor at the sensor end. In case these are loose, tighten the connections. If the connections are found okay, then check the connection on instrument panel. If these are loose, tighten the connections at the panel end also. In case sensors are still not working, there is a possibility that they are faulty. Check by replacing the old sensors with the new ones. If after replacing the sensors, there is still no indication, then check the instrument panel gauges and replace them if required. Starter motor not working after ignition switch is turned on. The starter motor is among the most important parts of the ignition system, and malfunction or failure of the motor can lead to starting troubles. In the event that the starter motor does not respond upon turning on the ignition, then the first thing to do would be to check the battery terminals and ensure that there is proper flow of current from the battery to the starter motor. If the battery terminals are loose or have salt formation on them, then clean the terminals and tighten them properly. Check the gravity and voltage of the battery to ensure that it is not discharged, and recharge the battery if required. Secondly, check the connection at the starter motor, and if the connection is found loose, then tighten the connection. In case the starter is still not working, then check the solenoid switch for its proper functioning and replace it if needed. If the motor continues to give trouble or is still not working, then overhaul the starter motor to rectify the problem.